This is part 3 of honoring my sensei, Master Jim Ennis. So, we were having a talk about my fighting skills, so to speak. And he was pretty mad at me when we were having these talks. But he wasn't mad like, I hate your guts, or like a teacher who needs to tell you to go sit your ass in the corner and think about what you've done. He was mad at me more like a big brother type angry. And he said, I need to ask you a question, and I need an honest answer. And I said, okay. So, how was it that you fight so well, but you can't do Kata 1? And I said, well, with all due respect, when I first learned martial arts, I was never taught katas until I came to your school. It's like, what? He said, that's right. Every martial art that I've ever been taught, I have been taught how to hit, where to hit, how to kick, where to kick. I was never, ever, ever in my life taught kata until I came to your school. He's like, do you even know what kata means? I said, it looks like exercise to me. 20 push-ups. So, I did my push-ups, and he was talking to me. He's like, you're one of those unique individuals. And I said, well, if unique mean, do I have an accelerated learning curve for fighting? I said, because it's second nature, because I've been doing it since I was 6 years old. I know my way around a fight fairly well. And this is what led to when my money started running out. So, about the second year in, or the third year in, I'm still in high school, and my money's getting tight. My little black Turismo is costing me money, because that bitch is tripping. I was working at Kegler's, so they weren't paying me much. I got jumped on my job. All kinds of shit was going on. I won that fight on the job, by the way. It wasn't really much of a fight. It was jumping, flipping, roll back over, get ready to punch this dude in the face, and his girlfriend was a mutant with supernatural teleportation powers. That's pretty much the long and short of that, but most of that was jokingly. Because I stopped like this close to her face, and I was like, look girl, I don't hit girls in the face. You need to move so I can beat this little asshole up, because I'm going to give him the chance that he didn't give me when he jumped my ass from the back. And since y'all think y'all going to throw me in this motherfucking trash dumpster, you got nothing coming. Also, in this time, my coworker was watching the whole time, and he's one of those people who thought that my black ass was a phony. I'm not a phony. Anyway, back to Mr. Ennis. So he was like giving me a hard time about this, and I was like, man, I can't help it. This is what I was taught. This is how I was taught. All my uncles, except for like 2, one on my mom's side, one on my dad's side, were in the military. They taught me some shit. I worked with a Green Beret. He taught me some shit. So all I know how to do is fight. I don't know katas, because I was never taught katas. I was taught you're going to hit somebody, you hit them to hurt them. And where do you hit them? In the throat, in the solar plexus, in the temple, in the nose. Some behind the fucking ear. And that was before I started learning about pressure points and Kempo and stuff. And he would rag me out a bit, and I was like, okay, well, I'm sorry that I can't seem to pick up katas. I just can't. There's something in here that's blocking that. I can't cut that block off. I can't break that wall down. I can't turn that switch and cut it off. So when y'all see me do certain moves over and over and over again, it's because those are the moves that my body has mastered. This does not mean that I am a master. It just means that those are the moves that my body has mastered. On the other hand, it also doesn't mean that I'm not a master. I'll get into that later when I honor Garfield Stoll. Not a master, but a master weapons crafter and a master salesman and a martial artist that I have the highest respect for. Highest respect. That'll be another video. It'll be smaller than these 3. But yeah, so he kept talking to me, and I kept telling him, I said, Mr. Ennis, I wish that I could be like a sponge for katas. The problem is, I'm battle hardened, and I can't stop. I can't go back to the beginning. You have to teach me at the level that I'm on. And people don't understand that even today. People don't understand it. You can't teach people from the beginning if they've already had martial art training. Even if you're teaching them a new martial art, you cannot teach them from the beginning. You have to teach them on the level that they are, because you don't devolve, you evolve. If that makes sense. If you're not a scientific speaker, let me repeat that. You do not devolve, you evolve. You do not degress, you progress. So therefore, there's a little bit of intelligence for you idiots that don't know. I could not go backwards, even though the Taekwondo was new entity to me. I had to learn from the level in which I was on, not the level that you assumed that I was at. And that didn't sit well with him. So about another 7 or 8 months went by, and by the end of that year, I was getting ready to turn 19. And this was starting the last year that I was with him. Now, I had already got jumped on a job, and all that shit is gone, and I'm getting close to either graduating or whatever the hell it was. So, I'm in high school, I got pressure at home, I got pressure at work, and I just can't wait to end it all. So, I'm going to class, and then about time the money comes up. So, I can only pay him for one more month of class, because that's all the money I have, because my car had broke down a little bit. It was tripping, so I had to pay to get that fixed. And then my car insurance had doubled up. And then I had been saving up money to go on a trip to New York, which did not happen. So that money wound up going to somebody who really didn't deserve it anyway. But by then I had already left the school. So the inner stairway was still on Grady Avenue. So, and some of my friends had tested and got black belts. Except Steve, because he already had a black belt and he was long gone after graduation, because he graduated long before this ever got backed around. He had became one of the master teachers there, but he never was there when I was in class sparring against other people. Plus, I was scared of him. Yeah, I was scared of him when he bust that kid's nose back on the downtown mall at the first studio that I went to. So I'm doing really well in the class, and then I had to talk to him and said, Master Ennis, I'm sorry, this is the last bit of money I can pay you, because I'm in a money crunch and I have bills to pay, so I can't continue the class, so I'm going to pay for this month, and then after this month I'm gone. So we talked, we shook hands, and he asked me to fill out this dossier or some shit, reference, what can I do to improve the school? And I think before I even got out the building, when he read that, he was not a happy man. I wouldn't say he was mad, but he wasn't exactly 1,000% on my side. So I got to the door and he said, I need to talk to you for a second. And I was like, okay, what did I do wrong this time? He's like, you didn't do anything wrong, but your suggestion, that's not how I run my school. And I'm thinking, it was like 20 questions. Which fucking suggestion did I make? It's not how you run your school. He said, it's the last one. And I said, what? The fact that we should fight for our belts? He said, yes. I said, look, you were raised in Japan, and you were a gaijin. So I know for a fact this belt system is not an Asian thing. This belt system is an American thing, probably decided between an Asian and a white man to make sure that people like me couldn't rise through the ranks because we were better fighters than we were martial artists. I will explain that at the end of the video if I don't forget. But he's like, what do you mean? I said, okay, in Kung Fu they don't use black belts. They use sashes. Again, an American thing. Because most martial artists that do Chinese Kung Fu or Kung Fu, before it came to America, there was no goddamn belt system. You had your monk, you had your disciples, and you had your students who would go from being students to disciples to monks, okay? That was the hierarchy. And then you had like the Grand Master, who was like the baddest monk on the fucking planet and shit. And each one, he had disciple monks who were monks who had disciples, etc., etc. This is all Shaolin shit. Now, when you get over to Japan, you got shoguns, you got samurai, you got ninja, and each one of them had disciples and students and stuff like that. And everything has a hierarchy. And when you get to shoguns and samurais, those are like your higher emperor class warriors, and they guard the emperor. The shoguns and the samurais are like the creme de la creme of martial arts in Japan, and they were like Aikido masters and Kempo masters and Judo masters and Jiu-Jitsu masters. And then the most important thing they had were their katanas. So to have that honor of being a shogun or a freaking damn samurai, you know, you done some work and you done been in battle and shit like that, and you are in that hierarchy under your emperor, and then you had rodents, which would technically be more like the class that I would fall into because I didn't have a master, and secondly, I'm a bit of a rogue when it comes to certain shit that you just should not even be a part of martial arts to begin with. And I told him that I think that you should fight for your belts for one simple reason. And here, everybody's good. Everybody lives on that illusion that I'm the next Bruce Lee, or I'm the best of the best. My ass can't be beat. In reality, when you get hit, it hurts like a motherfucker. Especially if they hit you in the right spot, such as the throat, such as the sternum, such as a temple, such as that spot in your nose that waters up your eyes and blinds you temporarily. You know, such as these pressure points from Kempo where they teach you how to push behind the son bitch so it can bring a big ass man to his fucking knees. You know, under the arms is 365 pressure points. Master Ennis in all his glory did not like that suggestion. And he said that it would give most fighters who have never competed in an actual tournament or have ever been in a real fight justifiable cause to use their martial arts, or justability that they are good. And I was like, and that's why you should fight for your belts. You have us have a fight scene, you let us choreograph a fight, because I did get to know what the black belt requirements were, which was you had to break one brick, one board, both with your fist, and then you had to do a fight choreographing of multiple attackers. So your first fight would be a one-on-one. Your second fight would be 1-on-2, and your third fight would be 1-on-3 or 1-on-5. And that was the way the Inner Stairway was running on Grey Avenue. And so, because I got to watch one of my friends train and pass for his black belt. And I may be off a little bit on that system, because it's been a long time since I've seen the Inner Stairway. And, you know, with the way that was going on, you had to work the system the way he wanted to run the system. And I was all about change. I kid you not. I was all about change. It's like, no, because when I was working at Kegler's, I didn't use nothing he taught me when those guys chumped me. I used what I already knew. Alright? And that's the thing about fighting. No matter what someone teaches you, you will revert to your natural instincts in a fight. If your natural instinct is to run, then run you will do. Unless you're a cripple and can't run. If your natural instinct is to fight, everything slows down. Like slow motion. And for some of us, this is where your life and death switch kicks on. Where you know everything that's coming at you is coming like monsterly slow. And for you, it's monsterly slow. For the other guy, it's like at a normal pacing. You'll be like, boom, boom, boom. And before they know what happens, they're fucked up. When I got jumped on my job, I told the story before, so I'll tell it again. For the most part, had I not been showing off to my friend, he wouldn't have told his friends and their girlfriends wouldn't have tried to jump me at the dumpsters at Kegler's. Which, sadly, those idiots did. So when they walked up there, one guy went off to my right, his left, and I wasn't thinking about that shit, and he was a big guy. The other guy was a little bit smaller than him, but bigger than my friend who I had been showing martial arts for weeks. Showing him all kinds of jumping spin kicks, everything. And when these guys got up there with their Redneck Central outfits on, this guy that disappeared, excuse me, he didn't say anything. The other guy was the distraction. So he was talking all kinds of shit to me about how he was going to whoop my ass and throw me in the dumpster. Now, what Mr. Ennis didn't know was I also learned some judo. And judo is the art of throwing a bigger opponent around by a little guy. So when the guy grabbed me, he clasped his hands. He grabbed me from the back and my arms was like this, so I couldn't move. And the other guy's like, yeah, we got you. We're gonna fuck you up, and we're gonna throw you in that trash dumpster. And I said, okay, well, it's two of y'all. Y'all might fuck me up, but you ain't getting me in that goddamn dumpster, because I'm claustrophobic. So the guy started slinging me around like a rag doll. And I'm like this, and I can't move. And I was like, okay. Everything started to slow down, because I felt my stillness. I got really, really calm. And then I thought to myself, this motherfucker ain't got my feet on the ground. Go forward. So I went forward. And when I went forward, I did a complete front flip. And his momentum is what threw us over. And when we landed, I landed like this. And he had my arms bent, but his arms was like this, and my arm was like this. So I said, and I grabbed my elbow. His arms come off me. I rolled back over top of him. And I said, all right, now get the fuck up. I'm going to give you the chance you ain't give me. Get the fuck up. But when I elbowed him, I killed him in the kill zone, in the sternum. He couldn't move because it took all the air out of him when we both hit the ground. He already had the air from being on the ground. The impact knocked the air out. And me doing this complexed the situation. I was going to kill him. That's why I elbowed him there. Now, so when I got off of him, I said, first I'm going to fuck you up. Then I'm going to fuck you up for talking. So you about to die, motherfucker. So when the guy finally got up, he was staggered. And he was wobbly legged. So I went in. And I don't know how the fuck his girlfriend did it, but she got in front of me. And I stopped 1 inch from her face. And I said, look, darling, I don't hit girls. Especially pretty white girls. You need to move your ass. This motherfucker wanted to fight. Now I'm going to give him one. So he couldn't get up. He's coughing. He's hacking. I'm sorry. We're just playing. I was like, nah, you want to play? You play with somebody who don't like to fight. I live for this shit. You want to fight? Let's do this shit, motherfuckers. Y'all want to play? You go play with somebody else. But you want to fight? It's on. So the guy that did all the talking, he started backpedaling a little bit. And then my friend's like, look, man, I didn't know they were going to do that. I said, you're fine. I'm not after you. But your big mouth friend here and little Charlie here that's going to try to fucking throw me in this dumpster, they're going to die today. And they should have thought about that shit before they started fucking with me. See, they just whooped my ass. It wouldn't have been a problem. But they want to throw me in a dumpster. They want to beat me and humiliate me. I ain't never had my ass beat before. My big sister used to beat me up all the fucking time. But today, you guys are going to die. So his girlfriend started crying. The other girl started crying. Everybody about to start crying. And I said, well, here's what's going to happen. You two are going to take your bitch-ass boyfriends the fuck out of here. And if you ever come back to Kegler's, and if you ever come near me again, I'm going to fucking pick up where I left off, and I'm going to fucking kill you. Period. And my friend, he's like, man, I'm really sorry. I didn't know. I said, look, man, it's not your fault that you picked the wrong people to have friends with. But if I was you, I would tell them that they better never come near me again, or I will fuck them up, as you just saw what I can do. So I get my trash bags. They're in the trash can. I meant to say I got my trash cans. And I roll on back down to Kegler's. This is like 70 some odd feet. So my partner, my co-worker, my ginger named Chris, who's like 6'6", tallest white guy I ever seen before I started watching wrestling big time. He probably could have been a wrestler. He goes, you really know that kung fu shit. You're a badass motherfucker. And I said, no. First off, I hold my own. Second off, you watch that shit? The fuck's wrong with you? Why you ain't come help me? Yeah, you know kung fu. Now you proved it. You don't need my fucking help. So that was that. Which goes back to Master Ennis and our conversation on why you should fight for your belts. Because what he was teaching me, katas and everything, to me, that was exercise. No, that's exercise. But really being able to fight and knowing that you can handle yourself in a fight is what most of us go to martial arts schools for. Most people don't teach you martial arts so that they can teach you how to fight. They teach you how you can defend yourself. Not that there's a difference. There's a thin blue line. But the point of the matter is, he didn't like my suggestion. And I told him, I said, well, I'm really sorry that you feel that way. I'm going to say, but when I go home, I got people who want to kick my ass. when I walk down the street from Grady Avenue to the projects, West Haven, no matter what side I go in, whether it be from the W&W side, whether it be from the first side of Page Street or the back side of Page Street or the motherfucking tunnel, or if I come in through the bushes through the tunnel where the winos lay at the basketball court, I got motherfuckers trying to beat my ass. So when I say we fight for our belt, it's so that when I walk through there, I know that if I get attacked by these motherfuckers, I'm going to be on the top. And it wasn't a bad conversation. And it's like, well, I understand where you're coming from, but I teach people to defend themselves. And I was like, did you not hear the conversation that I just gave you about how I have to go through a bad neighborhood every night? The majority of your students are white. They get in their car, they get to ride home. My house is right down the road, so I don't have to ride to you when I can just walk. But my old neighborhood was there, but I wasn't living there anymore. But that was my example that I was using them because I did have a car. But my car was breaking down, which is why I could not afford to stay in class. And like I had told him, if I fight for my belt, I got a guaranteed shot of knowing where I fucked up at, because I'm going to feel it. I got a guaranteed shot on what needs improvement, and the teacher can understand and can evaluate and teach me what I'm fucking up at. He didn't like that plan. So I said, well, I thank you. Here's my money for the next month. And if I can get here, I will. And so I never went back. I didn't talk to him again until years later when this incident happened that I read about in the first video. But other than that, he was never really a rude person. He was never a bad guy. He was probably the whitest Japanese person you ever met, because he basically lived his life in Japan before he came home and started teaching Americans kung fu, karate, taekwondo, whatever the hell you want to call it, martial arts. So, and he was real popular around here. I mean, he was awesome. And then he wasn't. So, in honor of Mr. Ennis, I made these videos so you guys could get a little bit better knowledge of this man, not other than the shit that I read about him going way to samurai and committing seppuku. Excuse me. He was more Japanese than Chinese, so harikari. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because in traditional samurai, you get your number one student to dice off your head after you cut yourself. So he didn't get that part done. No one's going to commit murder. No, not really. Now, when you think about it, no. And when he was found with a self-inflicted wound. And the paper does say that, And the problem with that is that, nobody could figure out why he did it. And then they figured out why he did it when they started talking about the two-way mirror and stuff. And I was like, I was never even aware that shit even was a thing. Except for I knew that because I was working at Sears that, we have cameras in the store, those big black globes. When you go to your meetings, when you read your handbook, they let you know where cameras and shit are in the store. If you ever get a job, read your fucking handbook. It's nothing wrong with being an overachiever. And what you don't know can come back to get your ass fired. So, pay attention. I did get fired from Sears, but not because I didn't read my fucking handbook. I went on the warpath on Thanksgiving. Oh, the day after, or the week after, or whichever, I went on the warpath. So, as we're bringing this around, we're gonna go back to where I caught up with him, because I was looking for schools. Like I said, I went to the Seven Tigers. Again, by this time they had moved all the way down 29. Before Browns was there, when Walmart was there, Sam's Club was under construction, so it was gonna be there, and the Sheraton Hotel, I think it's the Sheraton. I don't know what the fuck it is now, but at the time it was the Sheraton. And I went there, and again, I got rejected. And I asked them, I said, look, I need to get tested for a black belt. And I don't want to break bricks. And I don't want to break boards. I want to fight for my belt. I want your baddest black belt student to fight me for your belt. We can get in full gear and we can do this shit just so that I know that when I get this black belt, I'm gonna earn it. And the sensei there told me, as he did before, years before, when they were over by AutoZone, please exit my dojo. And he did it very nicely. He didn't be a dick about it, you know. He exited very nicely. About this time, I learned about the International Black Belt Center. And I went there the first time, so the first guy I met is like, yeah, we don't fight for black belts for Taekwondo here. You can go. It was years later when I started making movies where I got totally disrespected by their owner and full-blown sensei. Now, he completely threw me out the dojo because I came there, I was making this movie called Fallen Dragons. I had most of the cast about cast, and I didn't have a lot of time because a certain studio in Petersburg that should have gave me a job 19 years ago didn't give me a job. But they told me to go make a movie and bring it back. So, I mean, I was balls to the wall, nose to the grindstone. I went to every dojo in existence. And that's when I met the Three Emperors guy, but he was closing down. So that killed that. That's when I found out he was part of Crete and Cherokee are brothers. He said, man, I wish you would have came to me like 6 months ago because then I could have helped you out. Now I can't because I'm moving and I'm leaving. And he's like, you got some Native American blood in you, don't you? I said, yes, sir. He's like, what is it? I said, it's Cherokee. He said, well, we're brothers. I'm Crete. I was like, oh, I didn't know Crete and Cherokee were brothers. So we hugged. He went his way, and I miss him. I hope his journey has led him to success, where mine has led me to utter failure. So I went to another dojo. And no one would let me put my flyers there. But when I got to the International Black Belt Center, it was fucked up. So I went in there, and I was like, can I speak to your head Sifu or Sensei? He said, we don't have Sifus here. We do Taekwondo. So whatever the word that means teacher in Korea was the word that they used. And I didn't know that because I didn't have enough Taekwondo training from Master Ennis to know what it was called. So I said Sensei. Because in China, it's your Sifu. In Japan, it was your Senpai or your Sensei. And Senpai and Sensei both mean teacher. So I didn't know what the fuck that shit was in Korea. Because when we were in Mr. Ennis school, we called him Sensei. That's it. So, something about Shiryo Kinye, some shit. But anyway. Yeah, I know you see them damn lights. And it's not 11 o'clock yet. Anyway, sorry about that. So, all these dojos just would not let me post my flyers. 2 of them did. The one way down 29, they let me do it. And I did convince the Seven Tigers guy to let me do it. No one contacted me from any of them, so he probably let me do it just out of respect of martial arts. But he probably told them, look, don't fuck with that guy. He's insane. Which would be right. Sorry, text. Anyway, so I did that for a hot minute. And I got some martial artists that literally called me, came up, and then there was Adrian Cowell. He played my brother. God damn it. Damn it. Eric Chan. He played my enemy. Philip Ree. He played another good guy. And then Lewis was from Africa. The Bowie sisters. Jay Diz. I had a fair crew, but not a good crew. So, I made the movie. But I'm jumping ahead of that. The International Black Belt Center, that guy, he was an asshole. On top of an asshole. And he was a stinky asshole. Not literally, but he was just a stinky asshole. So when I started talking to him, trying to tell him about how I'm trying to build my movie career and all this, he threw me the fuck out the dojo. He escorted me. He said, look, I don't want your motherfucking flyers in my dojo. I don't want you influencing none of my motherfucking students to try to become movie stars. I teach real martial arts here. And I said, really? So, I guess you must have missed the part about honor and respect other martial artists when they come through the door of your dojo. Because I am a martial artist. And for you to be a sensei and to talk to me that way, where's the honor? Where's the respect? And he goes, you need to get the fuck out my fucking dojo right fucking now. And I'm like, and you call yourself a man of honor. You don't deserve that black belt. You don't deserve anybody. You don't deserve any of these fucking students because no sensei that I have met has ever talked to me that way. Ever. Whether it was here in Charlottesville or the only one I ever went to in Richmond, which was Dong's Karate, which is awesome. You know, he also did Taekwondo. Even he didn't like my idea of fighting for a belt, but he spoke to me with respect. The international black belt guy, psh, kudos to that motherfucker because he didn't like me one fucking bit. And he also didn't have any honor or respect for what I was trying to do. No, I need martial artists. It's a lot easier to train a martial artist how to act than it is to train an actor how to do martial arts. Trust me when I tell you that. It's the truth. It's a whole lot easier to train a martial artist how to act than it is to train an actor how to be a martial artist. Because that actually, it's more work for the stunt guys and it's more work for the co-stars if they have some martial art background and you don't. So, therefore, in closing, let me close this out. I miss Master Ennis. It saddened me then. It saddens me now because the man I knew. Let me make a fourth video.